On. I just wanted to take a moment and have a quick chat with you. Action Invest is now 11 years. We're heading into our 12th year in November. And, I did start every business, or most businesses, unless you come out of business school with a business plan that you go and you get financing for, and you immediately start, with 50, 100 employees, which hardly ever happens in Guyana. And even around the world, that's like really a fraction of 1%. Most businesses start with an individual, an entrepreneur that has an idea of something that they want to bring to the table. And they want to, they believe it will work. They believe that people out there need it. In many cases, it's something that they wanted for themselves. And that's always a good start, because if you're unhappy with what's available in the market and you're able to deliver it at a higher level, then maybe other people want it as well. And that's why, one of the unfortunate statistics is that 80% of new businesses fail within the first 5 years. Is that, yes, you may need it, maybe a couple of other people may need it, but it's not enough to run a business. It can't generate enough profit that is equivalent to your salary or more. That's usually why they fail. The other main reason why they fail is that nobody knows they exist. They're too shy to talk about their business, and the people who have used it are not out there singing praises about that business as well. So, I've started many businesses. Many of them have become super successful. And in my coaching business, in Action Invest, it's now 11 years. In the beginning, we had a lot of time. And that's how life goes, right? When you're young, you have a lot of time on your side. You have a lot of energy on your side. You don't have a lot of money on your side. The job is to take your time and energy and turn that into skills and abilities. Because the higher you develop your skills and abilities, is actually those skills and abilities that start generating you money. And when we get very old, what happens a lot is that we run out of time. Hopefully, the nanobots will evolve, and in another 5-10 years, you can just get injected and it repairs any part of your body. I'm so looking forward to that. We don't know yet if that's going to happen. But at the moment, when you do get old, you have very little time left. And if you haven't taken care of your body really well, you'll also notice that your energy levels will be very low. If you've really developed skills and abilities that you've been able to monetize, you'll actually see that your money level will be really high. You'll either have a lot of fixed assets or current assets, so a lot of money in the bank or a lot of real estate or whatever. And, I do come from a middle-class family, and I've seen many people in my family achieve that. I've achieved that as well. And I'm actually in the middle. I'm in my 40s right now. And it feels really good at this stage in my life where I do have time. I have really good energy. I feel healthier now than ever in my life. And I also have done quite a bit of work on skill and abilities, which means that has translated into money as well, into a lot of assets. And today, as of now, I work with a very limited number of very talented, highly driven CEOs that basically take the limited time. I don't have as much time as I was when I was much younger, and I don't have no time as well. So the limited time that I have is now dedicated to developing myself so I can develop this handful of CEOs. And it's a real big joy. These CEOs are pushing the boundaries all the time. Sometimes I think they're like younger versions of myself. They have big visions. They are willing to take the risk. They're willing to put in the work. And I really admire what they do. And I'm also very blessed to be a part of their journey. And just as I provide guidance and coaching and support to them, they also provide me with the ability to keep my mind super sharp. And I think that's a fair exchange, because the sharper my mind is, the more I can keep developing my skills and abilities. And again, that continues to multiply in terms of assets as well. So it's a real win-win situation. The one thing that does stand out to me is that, unlike in the past, when I was in my 20s and 30s, when I had a lot more time on my hands, a lot of that time I was able to volunteer with many organizations, show up at a lot of different events. That time has dried up. I've had to decide where to put that time. And as you would know, we do our best to still get involved as much as possible with the wider business community. I really love our partnership with the Sheriff Blair Foundation for Women. It's allowed us to have over 30,000 women and men use the app and get their business education at their own time. If you don't have the app as yet, please download the Her Venture app. It's a fantastic tool, and the method of delivering business education is so unique and so fun as well. We have so many free courses. If you go to any of our websites, the actioninvest.org or guyana.actioncoach.com, or even vishnudoerga.com, we have so many free resources available there. So I'd encourage you, if you're a smaller, small business, please make full use of that opportunity. If you're a medium-sized business, take a look at what we do at Action Coach and Action Invest so that you can get into one of our group programs. I'm very fortunate as well. One of the things I had given up 2-3 years ago was running our quarterly planning sessions. They do happen 4 times a year. Coach Keon took on the mantle and ran them. And I realized that I really, really missed that part, because 4 times a year, it did give me a full day where I not only work with my own clients, the companies I've been working with for 5-10 years now and who have grown massively. It also gives me an opportunity to see what's happening out there. What are people dealing with now? How can I quickly coach them? How can I quickly understand what's happening with them and help them get clarity? So I absolutely loved it. And for the past 3 quarters, I've been back, I've been delivering, and there's so much happening in the world of business. We have AI really transforming the way in which thinking is done now. We have so much new software that is there that makes marketing and sales and delivery to your customers so much easier, which also means it's a lot easier for people to compete with you. And I love competition. I love competition as much as I love collaboration. And the main reason I love both of them is it always allows us to develop better products that serve the market better. And one of the things that is important is that the better organization will usually serve more people. And part of what happens as well is that they will grow and they will consume their competitors in many cases, or their competitors drop out and move into other directions. I think that is critical. You can't be in a situation where you're not the best product and you keep struggling. Maybe this is not the field for you. Maybe you've tested the major competitor. You've made yourself better, you've made them better. But if there's not enough space in the market for both of you, and you have really analyzed and figured out, well, I can't really compete with this competitor, I should be their client, then that's a good opportunity to take a look at the skills and abilities you do have and identify where that could be used that's actually underserved. I did, as an example, I did consulting before I started coaching from 2010 to about 2014. And I was really good at it. 2 things happened is that my competitors then became, the big consulting companies of the world. And I would usually win because I had a lot more local knowledge. I had a lot more experience in the market, what works, what doesn't. So I was able to help my clients find faster ways to get the results that they wanted. But because it was me doing the research and me providing the guidance to these clients, it didn't feel like they were developing as human beings, and that didn't feel fulfilling to me. So I was really happy when I discovered coaching, because with consulting, I was always up against those big companies who had a much larger marketing budget, and they had dozens of consultants. So I had a small team, and it would probably take me 5, 10, 15 years before I could compete with them at that scale. And because they had such a head start and such a large budget, it's likely that they would have also gotten better. So when I discovered coaching, and coaching was still very new in Guyana 10, 11 years ago, it's probably still new now, it really made me understand that not only will I work with clients, I will also help them get better every single time so that they develop their skills and abilities and they deliver better results for themselves and those they serve. And so I made the shift from consulting to coaching. Every so often, I still do a little bit of consulting, but I usually limit it to a single session, because most cases in a single session, I can help a company get the clarity that they need. I don't need to be working with you in a consulting role for 3, 6 months. I prefer we switch it to coaching so I can actually help you develop your skills and abilities. That's just an example with me. I'm going to ask you to think about your own company, your own organization, your own role. Can you get to the top? And if you can, is there a plan to get there? And if you can't get to the top, what have you built that you could pivot on and bring to a really high level? And those are the people, I'm looking to serve through the company. Through events like Growth Club, where I can take a day per quarter and just be present and be with you and help you get clarity. We have fantastic coaches. We have 4 coaches on our team. Andre, who's been with us for 10 years as a client, has just joined as a coach as well. He has lived it. He started, as a small to medium company, and he's now a very large company. And he's well poised to help other business owners take that journey as well. I'm so happy that that's the multiplying effect that we have. And it's also very interesting because of the 4 other coaches that we have, 3 of them were previous clients, which is probably the best way to become a coach, to experience the system, use the system, get the results, and then wanting to really support others in their growth. So I did want to take some time, get some fresh air this morning and have this chat with you because, again, if you go back on our YouTube and Facebook pages 10 years ago, I would be able to invest time with you maybe a couple of times per week. Now, I was talking to our media team and I haven't sat down for recording in over a month. So I think for everyone who does follow what I do, maybe it's a bit unfair to you as well, because here on this side, I keep getting better and better. We're working on so many massive projects. There are 3 big ones that we're working on right now. One of them I did announce, which is the book that I'm writing, so that if I do decide to no longer focus on this role and focus on a role that I think will make a bigger impact in the world, I do want all this knowledge to be packaged somewhere that I can give you as a gift, so that even if I never meet you, you have a tool that can help you move your thinking, your performance, and your results ahead. So the book is coming up. My goal is to be able to launch it by the end of the year. Our new facility, we're in full swing with the new facility. Our new facility will be transformational for Guyana. What we will be able to bring to the table when it comes to training and support to every single organization in Guyana. The third one I'm not allowed to announce as yet. As soon as I get permission, you'll be the first to hear. So just glad that being able to have a chat with you. I want to encourage you as well. The transformation that Guyana is undergoing, it's good and it's messy. So the good comes with the bad. I wish we could just press a button and Guyana becomes a developed country, by the press of that button. That's never happened before. It's not likely to happen now. So we're experiencing a lot of growing pains. I really want our leaders to step up their performance as well. And not just our current leaders, anyone who feels that calling, who has developed skills and abilities that they believe need to be utilized on a larger level. And I'm glad I'm hearing, we're next to schools, I'm glad that I'm hearing the kids with all their energy. I wish that that energy turns into leadership as well. I believe that if we're going to turn this country into a developed country, into a prosperous country with happy citizens, citizens which are in very limited numbers, less than 1 million Guyanese, each and every one of us does have to step up our game in whatever way. If you're a cleaner right now, do your best to ensure that when you do your work, it's spotless and people say wow at your work. If you're a videographer, make sure that your level of professionalism leaves people in awe, thinking this guy is not just the guy who presses the button and just stands there. This is the guy who sets up, who makes you comfortable, tells you if there's something you could do to improve, and then produces a really good output. If you're a bus driver, please slow down. Please make sure that you and everyone in your vehicle arrives alive. The rush that we're in sometimes feels like a rush to death if I look at what's happening on our roads. And I said bus driver, but I would say any driver. We really need to step up our health and safety consciousness if we're going to preserve the limited Guyanese we have. We can't keep losing 2, 3, 5 Guyanese per day due to reckless behavior. Sometimes I'm happy that I'm not in national leadership, because I would be a lot more harsh on anyone that breaks the law, anyone that bends the law. And people will not like me for that. And, in many countries, these roles do require a level of popularity, and doing the right thing is not popular. People do the wrong thing because it's easier for them to do it. It's sometimes more comfortable for them to do it. They think, especially in business, they think they will get ahead by cutting corners, taking shortcuts, doing unethical things. And that's something I would not stand for. So it's unlikely you'll see me in that role, because again, I've never been one for popularity contest. I'm interested in performance contest. And I do trust that the mindset and the psyche of people in Guyana, in Suriname, I feel very strongly about Suriname as well, and the rest of the world, switches from being so caught up in popularity contest and be far more interested in performance. Because you're the one who suffers every time you choose popular. And again, it doesn't mean that popular cannot be performance-based, but I hardly see that. Every time you choose popular versus someone who can actually deliver without needing the fanfare and without needing to make you feel like you need to be flattered, because I think that's what happens often. In a popularity contest, the same way I need you to make me popular, I have to reciprocate and make you feel appreciated, make you feel seen. And in my world, making you feel seen would mean that you get the results from the system, even if you never meet me, even if you never see me. Which is, maybe a strange way of thinking, but that's what I believe in. And I can see how much the opposite way of popularity and making you like me is harming you if I were a leader. Like if my goal, if I have to take time, energy, and money to make you like me, then I'm not taking that time, energy, and money in making sure the systems work to get everyone the result they need. Read a book. In my book, I have quite a bit on this topic of how we transition from the current state of how society has formulated us to a different state where we can have a society that enjoys the resources, both natural and human resources, and really provides that life that we're all seeking. So if you've been able to follow me and you've been able to understand a little bit of my thought process, I'd encourage you to share this video with other people who may need to hear this message. And I would also ask you, give it a thumbs up so I know that you're interested in hearing more of these thoughts, that it could potentially also stimulate your own thoughts. And maybe even drop a word in the comments section of a topic you'd like me to talk on, because again, I have lived for over 40 years at a very massive speed, so which means I've covered a lot of ground. And I would love to share this knowledge with you, and it would make sense if I know what you needed to learn, so I can take some time every so often, come sit in the shade, get some fresh air, and share my thoughts with you. With that said, keep doing your best. The only way life gets easier is if you get better. So get better and get better soon. Take care.